Russian social media is claiming to have leaked documents detailing Ukrainian counteroffensive plans straight from the U.S. Is it real? Is it true? And what exactly does it tell us about the counteroffensive? I'm Paul, U.S. Army combat veteran. It's April 7th, 2023. This is your daily Ukraine update. Let's get into it. Okay. Control map info, right? Hasn't actually been any major changes. The breakdown of fighting looks exactly like it always does. Perhaps a bit light on the fight, actually very light. They're saying under 50, just over 40 attacks. So a very, very light combat day, but that's not what you guys are here to talk about. We're here to talk about the reports of secret documents purportedly outlining NATO and Russia's plans. So this is a tough spot to be in. This is complicated for a couple of reasons. First, because it's not clear that these are even still classified documents. Why? Because they have been almost certainly modified, right? The total casualty numbers have been comically adjusted to reflect something like, according to some reports, 70,000 Ukraine KIA to 12,000 Russian KIA. And let's be honest, while the numbers are a little fuzzy in this conflict and reporting isn't great, there's almost no chance that there's only been 12,000 Russian KIA. So right there from the jump, we assume that if these are not total fictions, then they are at least should be taken with a grain of salt. Okay, so given that, what exactly does these documents purport to provide information-wise? I'm going to give you guys the reality. And the reality is not much that we didn't already know. First off, these documents are dated almost 5 weeks ago. So right there, it's talking, and they focus primarily on a status update. So not much more information than I give you guys. Where Russian troops are located, what they think the combat strength of different brigades is. But some of these estimates aren't any better than mine. And again, 5-week-old information in a war with this high an attrition rate doesn't really tell us a ton. Second, it purports to give a timeline of the process of equipping Ukrainian brigades. And frankly, we know it's no secret that 5, 6, that there's brigades training in the UK, in Spain, in the US, in Poland. Ukrainian brigades are being trained and equipped across the board. And as I've talked about for literally weeks on this channel, this process takes a long time. You have to deliver equipment. You have to train the users on it. The biggest thing these documents do, if they're true, which again, if they've been modified, you should take them all with a grain of salt. But if they're true, it literally looks like somebody took all the stuff that I'm saying anyway and put it and made it look like a dumb DoD slide. Obviously, I can't show it because if it does turn out that one or more of the documents is authentic, I could get in a lot of trouble. I may even just get in trouble for talking about them. But again, I'm relying on reported news sources, including Radio Free Liberty, a U.S. government-funded a news outlet is reporting this. So I wouldn't go too hard. I'm not super worried about it. But here's what these plans don't include. They don't include anything about where it's going to take place. To the extent that it has information about timelines, about when it will take place, the only information it says now is that the offensive isn't going to take place in March. Well, guys, it's the first week in April. We know it didn't take place in March. We're here for it. So, I think this whole thing is sort of, and the only other information that I found really salient in there was that it says that Ukraine and Russia are roughly equal in terms of troops out into the front lines. Also, something you could basically infer by the fact that the front lines don't move very much in a given day, that there's not clearly an advantage anywhere. So just, if you don't know NATO speak and you don't know how high level military planning behaves, you might think that this is some sort of big time, mega vulnerable thing. And the truth is that no reporting, nothing I've seen indicates that that is the case. All I've seen from these documents is that everything we already know is the case, right? Large numbers of Ukrainian brigades are being trained by their foreign partners, trained and equipped, and that the war is currently in kind of a stalemate, and the Ukrainian counteroffensive probably isn't going to happen in March, which we know because it's April. So this is one of those nothing burgers. I know everybody, and this is, I'm trying to think of how much I can share here. It's publicly known, and a lot of smart people have talked about the U.S. government's overclassification problem. And overclassification, as they describe it, is the tendency to treat more and more information as classified, or classified at a higher level than is honestly warranted. And here's an example, right, for reporters for the Committee of Freedom of the Press, overclassification. And what this is it's a term for when agencies just find it easier to sit there and normally you're supposed to assess each piece of information, each document for its specific salience to national security issues. And the highest levels of classification, as a general principle, are reserved for the things that can damage U.S. national security interest, like grievously. Okay. But it also, overclassification, affords a bunch of protections. It means that you don't have to turn those documents over if, say, a reporter requests them with a Freedom of Information Act request, or it means that they get to stay protected. It also means that there are strict rules in how people treat them, unless apparently you're an elected official, in which case you can take them to your house. But so there's a lot of incentives for bureaucracies to make everything super classified, when the truth is that a lot of these secrets aren't so secret. And this is a classic example of that. Like I said, I couldn't have given some of the timelines and details of exactly which brigades are getting Leopards, but you guys could ballpark it. You know how many Leopard tanks or how many Abrams have been promised, and you can figure out how big a NATO brigade is, and you could do the same math we all can and estimate how many armored brigades they're going to get, right? It's not that hard. And again, we talked about it. There's public press releases all the time about brigades being trained. Let's see if we can find one, right? Remember the Ukrainian brigade that just finished training, right, with the strikers? They made a press release about it. So, again, you just got to ask yourself. Here you go. Last week, 2 Ukrainian brigades equipped with Bradley IFVs, Stryker AFVs, returning to Ukraine after training, Pentagon says. Not classified. Pentagon touts it. And, oh, look, they're talking about all the other people who are out there training on this. So, right, they tell you they're currently training 11,000 Ukrainian soldiers. You know exactly what this is. That's all that's in these documents. They might, again, that's why I'm inclined to say they may be fake. They may just be some fake details dumped into things we already know about when the counteroffensive is happening. So I'm not seeing this grievous threat to national security. I'm not seeing a major coup for Russia. The biggest thing is that, again, Russia, all we know for sure is that someone made a document that looks kind of convincing in terms of it looks like a dumb NATO slide deck. It looks like a dumb US slide deck. And frankly, being good at PowerPoint isn't really that great. So all in all, guys, again, is this like some sort of mega super coup d'etat, embarrassing for the United States? Does it reveal something game changing for Russia? No, I don't think it does. I think if it even turns out that they're true, at most it confirms the basic assessment that we already had in terms of who and what and where is going to be involved in this counteroffensive. So anyway, guys, that's all I had, except, of course, as always, if you guys want to support the channel, I got booted off Patreon, but I launched combatvetnews.com. Combatvetnews.com is, of course, my own site, right? We've got, of course, news that we're trying to update every day. News stories that I can't cover here. And we have all my YouTube videos for free up here, as well as members only content. If you want to support the channel, check out the members only content. As you can see, we do videos once a week breaking down the combat footage that YouTube won't let me show you. Last week, we looked at GoPro footage of Russian Marines trying to seize Volodar and not succeeding. So some really interesting stuff out here. Anyway, that's all I had. Be sure to support us down at combatvetnews.com. Or maybe you're watching this on combatvetnews.com, in which case, yeah, keep it up. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.